Hello and welcome to our video on the most often requested Python interview questions. Python is a popular programming language that is utilized in a variety of fields, including web development and data analysis. If you want to work as a Python programmer, you need to be well prepared for job interviews. In this video, we will go through some of the most typical questions you may be asked during a Python interview and how to properly answer them. So let's get started. What is Python and what's it used for? Python is a high-level, general-purpose programming language used extensively in a variety of industries, including web development, data analysis, machine learning, and scientific computing. It is known for its simplicity, readability, and adaptability, making it an excellent option for both novice and experienced programmer. One of the best things about Python is that it has a large and active community of users and developers. These people have made a lot of libraries, frameworks, and tools that are easy to use in Python projects. This makes it easy to quickly and efficiently build a wide range of applications from simple script to complex programs. Python is used for many different kinds of projects, such as building web servers and websites, analyzing and visualizing data, automating tasks, making models for AI and machine learning, and making scientific simulation and algorithms. Python can be used for almost anything that needs a computer, which makes it useful and powerful tool for solving problems in the real world. What are the key features of Python? First, it's easy to read and write. Python syntax is simple and easy to learn. This makes it easy to read and reduce the cost of maintaining programs. Because of this, it is a good choice for both new and experienced programmers. Python can run on any operating system, including Windows, macOS, Linux, and Unix. Because of this, it is a flexible language that can be used on many different devices and platforms. Python is a dynamically typed language, which means that when you declare a variable, you don't have to say what type it is. This makes it easy to write code and lowers the chance of making mistakes related to the type. Python comes with a large standard library that has models for a wide range of tasks, such as connecting to web servers, reading and writing files, and working with data. This makes it easy to get started with the Python and start making useful programs right away. Python supports object-oriented programming, which is a way of writing code that lets you give each object its own property and method. This makes it easy to write big modular programs that are easy to keep up and use over and over again. Python has a number of high-level data types like lists, dictionaries, and sets that make it easy to work with data and do common tasks like searching and sorting. Python has a large and active community of users and developers who have made a lot of third-party library that can be used for many different things. This make it easy to find solutions that have already been built for a lot of common programming tasks. How is Python interpreted? Python is a special kind of computer language that we can use to tell the computer what to do. It's kind of like giving the computer a set of instructions or a list of tasks to follow. When we write program in Python, we use special words and symbols to tell the computer what we want it to do. The computer reads the instruction one by one and try to follow them. So to run a Python program, we use a special program called the Python interpreter. And the interpreter is a program that reads the source code of our program, converts it into form that can be executed by the computer, and then execute it. In simple terms, when we run a Python program, the interpreter reads the instruction and the program one by one and executes them. This means that the computer follows the instructions step by step, just like we would if we were following a recipe to make a cake. There are two main ways that Python programs can be executed. Running a Python script from the command line. In this example, the Python interpreter is invoked by typing Python followed by the name of the Python script that we want to run. The second way is the running Python interpreter in interactive mode. In this example, the Python interpreter is started by typing Python at the command line. It enters interactive mode, which allows you to enter and execute Python statement one by one. The interpreter prints hello world to the screen, assign the value to 12 to the variable age, and print the variable age. In both of those examples, the Python interpreter reads and executes the instruction in the program one by one, make it easy to write and test Python programs incrementally. What is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3? Python 2 and Python 3 are two major versions of the Python programming language. There are a few key differences between the two versions. The first one is syntax difference. There are a few different difference in the syntax of Python 2 and Python 3. For example, the print statement in Python 2 has been replaced with the print function in Python 3. The division operator in Python 2, the division operator behaves differently for integers and floating point number. For example, 5 divided by 2 evaluate to 2, while 5.0 divided by 2 evaluate to 2.5. In Python 3, the division operator always returns a floating point number. Unicode. Python 3 uses an Unicode strings by default, while Python 2 has a ASCII as its default encoding. Function annotation. Python 3 supports function notation, which allow you to specify the accepted type of Python argument and return values. This is not supported in Python 2. Improved packaging and library support. Python 3 including improved support for packaging and distributing code, as well as a number of new libraries that are not available in Python 2. What is Python model and how do you use one? A Python model is a file with Python code that can be imported into other Python code to reuse its functionality. Model can define function, classes, variables, and even code that can be run. To use a model in your Python code, you first need to import it using the import statement. For example, to import the built math model, you can use the following code. Once the model has been imported, you can access its functions, classes, and variables using the dot notation. For example, to use the squared function from the math model, you would write like this code. You can also import specific items from a model using the from keyword. For example, to import only the squared function from the math model, you can use the following code. You can also give a model different alias when you import it using the as keyword. For example, to import the math model as an M, you can use the following code. Model assist organize code and avoid name conflict by including related functionality. By importing common model, you can reuse code across project rather than copying and pasting. What is Python script and how do you run it? A Python script is a text file containing Python code that can be executed by Python interpreter. A script is usually used to automate tasks, perform operation, or solve problem, and it can be run from the command line or from a within Python interpreter. So to run a Python script, you will need to have a Python interpreter installed on your system. Then use the Python command followed by the name of the script file to run the script. For example, if your script is called myscript.py, you can run it from the command line like this. If you want to pass argument to your script, you can include them after the script name separated by spaces. For example, inside the script, you can access the argument passed to the script using the sys model. You can also run a Python script from within a Python interpreter by using the exec function to execute the contents of a file like this. It is also possible to make a Python script executable by adding a shebang line at the top of the script file. A shebang line specified to the path to the Python interpreter that should be used to run the script. For example, we add this line at the top of the program. After adding the shebang line, you can run the script by making it executable and running it directly like this. This allows you to run the script without the Python command, making it easy to run the script from the command line or from a shell script. What are Python variables and how do you use them? A variable in Python is a place in memory with a name that holds a value. You can think of a variable as a box that holds a value. The value can be a number, a string, a list, or a dictionary. So in order to use a variable in Python, you must first create it by providing it a name and a value. The following code demonstrates how to create a variable in Python. In this example, the variable message is created and assigned to the value hello world, which is a string. You can then use the variable by simply referencing its name on your code. For example, print message. This will output the value of the message variable, which is hello world. You can also modify the value of a variable by assigning it to a new value using assignment operator. For example, this will output good morning as the value of the message variable has been modified. Variable types in Python are not fixed. You can assign a variable a new value even if it's a different type. This will output 12 as the value of the message variable has been modified to an integer. What are Python lists and how do they differ from Python arrays? In Python, a list is a set of items that are ordered and can be different types. Lists are made with square brackets and a comma to separate the item on the list. One way to make a list in Python is as follows. In this example, the first list numbers contain a sequence of integers, the second list rows contain a sequence of string, and the third list mixed contain a mixture of different different types of items. Lists in Python are very powerful and flexible because they let you store and change a lot of data in a structured way. Using an item's index, which is position in the list, you can get it to it, change it, or get rid of it. For example, lists also have a number of built-in functions and methods that let you do the things like sort, search, add, and remove items, for example. So a Python array stores elements on the same kind. Arrays aren't as common in Python as lists, which are more flexible and efficient. If you create arrays using the array model, all elements of the array must be of the same type. So if you need to store a lot of data and want array performance, you can use the array model from the Python standard library. In this example, the array model is imported and an array of integer is created using the array function. The first argument to the function specifies the type of the item in the array. In this case, I stand for integers. The second argument is a list of items to be added to the array. What are Python dictionaries and how do you use them? In Python, a dictionary is a list of key value pairs that are used to store and get data. Curly braces are used to define dictionaries, which are made up of a series of key value pairs where each key is linked to a value. In this example, the dictionary person contains 3 key value pairs. Name is the key and Jacob Jones is the values. Age is the key and 21 is the value. City is the key and Ohio is the value. To access the value of a specific key in the dictionary, you can use the square bracket notation like this. You can also modify the value of a key in the dictionary by assigning a new value to it using the assignment operator. For example, a new key value pair can be added to a dictionary by giving a value to a new key. Dictionary built-in function and method allow you to iterate over key value pairs, search for key or value, and sort key value pairs. So the last question, what is exception handling and how do you use it in Python? Exception handling is a feature of Python that lets you deal with errors and other problems in your code when they happen. It lets you choose a block of code to be run when an exception is thrown and a different block of code to be run if no exception is thrown. In Python, you can use the try and except statement to handle exception. The try statement specifies a block of code that is being tested for exception, and the except statement specifies a block of code that should be executed if an exception is raised. In this example, the try block contains a division that raises 0 division error. If the division is 0, the except block contains a 0 division error statement. You can also use the finally statement to define a block of code to execute after the try, an except block regardless of an exception. The finally block clean up, resource, and close file. Exception handling should only be utilized for accepted code errors. Using exception handling instead of control flow might make code harder to read and understand. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.